Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, Mr. Torres surveyed 20 students about their weekly water and soda consumption. The graph below displays the relationship between the consumption of water and soda in ounces. Which of the following options best describes the situation? Okay, so we want to find out which one of the choices or options, right, best describes this situation. Okay, so what are we comparing? Well, we are comparing the soda consumption. And what is that? What does that mean? Well, it means how much soda they drink. Very good. Okay, that's what it means. And also we're comparing that with the water consumption, which means how much water they drink. Very good. Okay, so if you want to analyze the data, this is what it means. It means that if a person was asked and that person had 50 ounces of soda, that person actually drank 450 ounces of water. Is that right? And that would be the point that is way up here, right? So if this person drinks that much soda, which is 50 ounces, of course he's gonna need to drink a lot more water, right? Because it's liquids, right? But what happens, for example, the point that is way over here? This means that this person drank 450 ounces of soda and he only took how much? Like 150 ounces of water. Is that right? Because remember, we're talking about this point right here, which is right above 450, right? And right across, that will be like 120, 25, right? So we can tell that the more soda that a person drinks, the less water that the person drinks. Is that right? Kind of makes sense, right? Because we can only take so much liquids, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna see if we can draw a line, right? Because if I can do that, then it's gonna help me to decide whether it's a positive or negative correlation, okay? Now, there's gonna be not a perfect line because the points are not that close to each other, right? And not all the points are gonna be included on the line that you choose, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and draw the line from here to here, right? Now, I can do that. Now, some of you maybe said, Miss, my line was a little bit more this way, so I'm going to do another one here, right? So there's no such thing as a perfect line, okay? Because the only thing that I can recommend you is try to draw a line that is going to be more like in the middle of all the points, right? Like don't draw a line way up here because then you're going to be including only very few points. Is that right? So try to have a line that is more like in the middle of all the points. So that's going to be my line. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to choose to draw an arrow pointing this way in this direction because that arrow will help me to decide whether it's positive or negative correlation. Since the arrow is pointing to the left, is that right? Then I can say that there is a negative correlation. Therefore, if I look at the answer choices, I can already cross out letter A because it says positive. And I can cross out letter C because it also says positive. So I'm going to cross out those two answer choices. And now I can see letter B says negative. Very good. So I do see a negative and a negative. So we're good on that, right? And then I can see strong and weak. So that's the difference between B and D. But then both of them says what? Linear correlation. Okay, so we're good up to there, right? Both of them says linear, both of them says negative. So I just need to decide whether they're strong or weak. Okay, so what I want you to look at now is go back and look at the graph. And I want you to notice that if I look at the line that I created, there's like 1, 2, 3, like 4 points only included on my line. And all the rest of the points are not exactly that close to the line. There's some kind of gap in there. Do you see that? And there's even a point that is further away to that one. Is that right? So when that happens, right, we say that it has a weak correlation, okay? It's negative, but it's a weak, because many of my points are not that close to the line, okay? Therefore, I am going to go with letter D. Very good. So that will be my answer, okay? Because it is negative, it is a line, but it's more like in the weak correlation, okay? So that's our answer.